So when the last video ended, we were going to look at this weather map. So the very first question says, what type of weather front do you see in Canada above Montana? So this is Montana, and it says, what kind of weather do we see in Canada? Right now we kind of see calm weather because it says there's a high pressure. There might be some cold storm up here on this side of the weather band, but it looks like it's high pressure, nice and calm, directly right here above Montana. In the Atlantic Ocean, what type of front is it and what direction is it moving? So this is the Atlantic Ocean over here, and it's got these like blue triangles. So if we go back and look at the types of fronts, that is a cold front that's actually in the Atlantic Ocean. So if we look at our map, there's a cold front right there with the blue triangles in the Atlantic Ocean. So there's probably a change in how the temperature feels if you were in the Atlantic Ocean right there. And it says, which direction is it moving? Well, it's being pushed towards the east. So it's being pushed away, and we can tell that by the way the arrows are pointing. So it's being pushed away from the east coast right there. What type of front do you see in Texas and New Mexico? Well, this is Texas and New Mexico, and it looks like there's a low front right here. And so there's this cold low front coming in, pushing across Texas and New Mexico. So it's probably storming here in New Mexico, or at least it's really cold, and in northern Texas. And then on the other side of Texas here, it's probably nice and calm. But those arrows are pushing down and towards the east, so that is the direction that the wind is blowing. And so eventually this part of Texas will also get some of that cold weather. Okay, and then it says circle the oculated front. Remember, the oculated front is where the two fronts meet. And we can see that right here where there's like a little arrow where the two fronts meet together is the oculated front. And underline the warm front. Well, let's look. I want to look at our codes and make sure we're looking at it right. A warm front is these little like red little half circles. So if we look for the red half circles, it looks like down here just below Texas, it has that warm front just down in the Gulf Coast below Texas. So let's fill out this types of air masses sheet that we have here. And so I'm going to just make it so I can write on it with you. So you should have this in your packet. And so if it's maritime, that means it's near water, so you're most likely going to be moist, and it's going to be warm. So we would write warm and moist. And it came from the sea, and that's where it got moisture from, is that evaporation over the sea. Then if we're talking about water but cold, oh, let me fix that. It's going to be cold and moist. My goodness. So we're going to see cold and moist. And it also came from the sea because it's maritime. Then we have continental, which is warm and dry because it was over land, so it's dry, and it originated over land, so there's less moisture. So it was over land. And then this is going to be cold and dry, and it originated over land. So this is the areas that we either have warm and dry or cold and dry. But Utah's a very dry place, so that's the kind of temperatures we're going to have. Okay, go ahead and hit pause and finish filling out the sheet, and then hit play again. Okay, your sheet should be filled out. So we're going to go ahead and go on. Let me take this one off. Okay. Oop. I'm not sure what I did there. That's never happened before. Okay, let me drag it down to where we was. Okay, so we're now on this map activity sheet. And so we're gonna do this one together. So it says, what type of weather front do you see in Canada? Oh, these were the same questions that we just answered. And so we just need to fill them out on our map activity sheet. So what type of weather front do you see above Montana? We see, what was the triangles and the circles together? I think it was like a mixture of cold and warm, but let's go back and look and just make sure. So when it has both of those, that means it's a stationary front. So I'm glad that we looked at that again, because I would have told you wrong. So this is a stationary front. And then in the Atlantic Ocean, what type of front is this? Well, we have a cold front right there. And it's moving east because of the arrows right here. It's showing it's kind of moving southeast. So you could even put that, you could put southeast. What type of front do you see in Texas and New Mexico? That's this area here. We see a cold front. Then it says circle a high pressure zone. That'd be that area. Underline a warm front. That would be right here in Texas. There's a warm front. So you would circle and underline those areas. Okay, hit pause until you have that one all the way filled out. Okay, so now we are going to draw some fronts. So you need this sheet now. So we're going to draw what it looks like. So if you have some markers, that would be really good. I'm going to actually change mine to red because this is a warm front is generally red and it has these half circles on it. So you would draw what a warm front looks like. And it's moving warm air. Then we have a cold front, so I'm going to change my pen back to blue. And when we have a cold front, we have these triangles. Fill those in. And it's moving cold air. Then we have an occulent front, and an occulent front kind of has both blue and red, so I'll do my blue first. Change to red. And an occulent front is faster moving cold front. So it's faster moving cold front. And then we have this stationary front that has some red. So it's got like the warm front on one side, like that. And then it has the cold front. On the other side. And so they don't replace each other. So they're not really strong enough to replace each other. So they don't replace each other on the stationary front. So go ahead and fill out that front sheet. Hit pause until it's filled out. And then we're going to go to one more sheet. Okay, so now we have this front and weather symbol. And so a stationary front isn't going to have any weather before it passes, or weather while the front passes, or weather after the front passes. And so we're just not going to put anything in those. And this might have some showers. Oh, I need to make my pen work. So this is going to have showers, but it's going to be warm. In a warm front, we're going to have showers, and there might be some snow on the other side because it's cold. And oculated front, it's going to change. And that's going to be true for all of them because it's kind of a mix where they meet together. And while the weather front passes, it's going to get suddenly cold, and you might have a thunderstorm. This one's going to be a drizzle, and you might see some warm, feel some warm air. And then this one's going to be showers, and then cold. And after a warm front passes, you're going to see clear skies. Okay, so that's all you needed to do for today. So go ahead and hit pause, and you can finish out that sheet, and then we're done with science today. And I'll see you on Thursday. We don't have science on Tuesday and Wednesday, so I'll see you on Thursday. Let me know if you have any questions.